Star Trek Online has announced the 2024 event campaign, and this year's campaign is going to come with an interesting change to this year's prize. The first TFO event for the 2024 event campaign is going to be a PAVO event, which means that we're going to be doing the 2 PAVO TFOs, so that's PAVO Dissension for ground, or Peril over PAVO for space. The runtime for the TFO event is, for some reason, way at the bottom. Here it is. This is going to be starting on PC on February 15th and running to March 7th. No date for console has been announced yet, but, I mean, you know how this works by now. Console should be getting this in a month or two. The prize for this TFO event is kind of interesting. It's going to be a PAVO space set, which is going to include an omnidirectional beam that deals proton damage, an energy torpedo that also deals proton damage, and a universal console. And also the usual TFO rewards, so the 25,000 dilithium, as well as the choice between the specialization points or the enhanced universal tech upgrades. Now, the fact that this set deals proton damage is very interesting. There are not a lot of space abilities that deal proton damage. There is one other space set that deals proton damage. That's from the Dyson reputation. There's a few other things which largely are revolved around the Dyson reputation that also deal proton damage. There's also those unique cannons on the old Dyson ships. When they go into tactical mode, those deal proton damage, which, now that I bring that up, I imagine that's going to bring some sliver of hope to people who still want Tier 6 versions of the Dyson ships, and all I can say is, God, I hope not, because I hate those ships. They're terrible, they have terrible stats, and they look even worse. No, let them stay buried. Those ships should not be a thing. Leave them alone. Anyway, as to the set itself, as I said, it's going to have an Omni Beam that deals proton damage. The Special Beam Array is capable of being enhanced with cannon special firing modes too, in addition to being able to utilize with the standard beam firing modes. So this will function with any firing mode ability, including Scatter Volley and Rapid Fire, not just the beam abilities as well, or the usual specialization firing modes. Hitting an enemy with this weapon has a chance to apply a resonance charge to your target, causing them and up to 3 additional enemies to take additional proton damage. The amount of damage dealt by this AoE proton damage scales with the number of stacks of resonance charge on your target. And you can have stacks of resonance charge on multiple targets at once. So, to me, that sounds like this is going to be a valuable weapon to have on a multi-target firing ability. So, you know, Fire at Will or Scatter Volley. This probably isn't going to be great for single-target builds, assuming you're wanting to use this. Because, honestly, with proton damage, the problem is that it's not a typical damage type, so there's not a lot that buffs it. So you're not going to want to throw this in with your typical, you know, phaser build or even an anti-proton build, because anti-proton and proton damage are totally different things. That's important to remember. I can't remember. Is proton damage considered exotic damage? Okay, sometimes it is, but sometimes it isn't. So that doesn't answer a lot of questions. But the fact that this is a weapon set, which means it's probably going to be non-exotic damage, so it's going to be considered normal weapon-based damage, which again is annoying because that means there's not going to be a lot of things that buff this proton damage. There are no isomags or Spire consoles that buff proton damage, so those are going to be hard to buff. The Pavin Energy Torpedo is going to be fairly similar to the Omni Beam in that they're both going to deal proton damage. Because this is an energy torpedo, it's not going to deal kinetic damage, nor will it be buffed by kinetic damage buff, but it's going to deal proton damage and will be buffed by other proton damage buffs. And additionally, it seems to have the same resonance charge proc as the Omni Beam. I am assuming this resonance charge is a proc, so that means these are probably only going to have a 2.5% chance of applying like any other weapons proc. Maybe 5% chance, but I would be very surprised. Again, like always with these blogs, it would be nice to see a tooltip. Like, anyway, the universal console is called Pavin Crystalline Battery. This technology incorporates Pavin crystals into an energy storage and distribution system that can be linked into your ship's weaponry. These crystalline charges provide additional benefits to your ship's weapons, including a slightly faster firing cycle and reduced recharge time for cannon firing modes. Why just cannon firing modes? Why not go with beams as well? As well as a hefty bonus to any proton damage you inflict. Weird that it's just cannon firing modes, but I guess that explains why the Omni Beam is also influenced by cannon abilities, but oh god, this is just going to get more people to be hyped up for T6 versions of the Dyson ships. No! Let them die! Let them stay dead! They're not good ships! They're ugly, and science destroyers are stupid! That's actually a video I've been wanting to do for a while now, explaining why Science Destroyers are a useless, stupid gimmick that really has no functional purpose in the game, and they drive me freaking nuts. I hate it. Okay, I'm sorry. Enough about that rant. Set bonuses. The two-piece bonus is going to be called Pavin Interstellar Bombardment Beam, and like the name suggests, it's a big honking beam that shoots from Pavo and fires at your target. The interstellar beam will concentrate on a chosen target for a few seconds before detonating in a large area of additional proton damage to other nearby enemies. The 3-piece bonus will further enhance the bombardment beam from the 2-piece bonus by lowering its cooldown down to 60 seconds and allow the beam to consume charges of resonance charge, meaning it will deal more damage if you have targets with resonance charge on them. I mean, it's a neat sounding set, I'll give it that, but at the same time, it's just... Proton damage. Why proton damage? It's such a niche damage type. It has so little use in the game, really. You're really going to have to go out of your way to build for this damage type. And again, you're not going to get that far because there are only so many weapons that deal proton damage and so much that buffs it too. I don't know. I'm sure someone clever will be able to cobble something together to make this set useful, and that someone will probably be Augie. But yeah, I feel like this isn't going to have much practical use for the average player. Anyway, that's the news about this individual TFO event, but we've also got some news about the actual event campaign as a whole, regarding its prize specifically. The past few event campaigns have been spread out over 5 different TFO events, and will allow you to choose between one of 3 different prizes. The 2024 event campaign is going to be extended to 6 TFO events, and the prize for this year, instead of being a choice between a T6 premium ship from a lockbox of promo ship, 2 C-Store coupons, or 1,500 low buy, instead you just get all 3. There's no decision to make. You can just get all 3 of those prizes by completing this year's event campaign. This is a hell of a change, because that means the event campaign prize goes from being a choice between 1 or 2 ships to being a choice of up to 4 different ships. Because you'll get your Infinity promo ship that you want on 1 character. You'll also be able to get the 2 C-Store coupons, so that's 2 more ships, those of which will be unlocked on your whole account. And then 1,500 low buy, which is more than enough low buy to buy another ship from the low buy store. Beyond that, this event campaign will run just like the others, so just play the events during their runtime and then earn progress toward those individual TFO events and the overall event campaign. Some other news, the Picard bundle is going to be on sale on all platforms. It's actually currently on sale. It's going to be running from, where was the date? Here we are, February 6th to February 13th. It is going to be 25% off on all platforms. That in and of itself really isn't that big of news because, frankly, I still maintain that this is one of the worst bundles in the C-Store. But there is going to be an interesting change that they talked about. Here at the end of the blog, they're stating that the Tommy gun is going to be available as an account unlock through the Picard bundle. When this bundle was released, the Tommy gun was only available as a single character unlock via this bundle, which was an unbelievably weird decision on their part, and I never really understood why and neither has the rest of the community, because people have been constantly asking for the Tommy gun to be made an account unlock through this bundle. Because the only other way to get this weapon unlocked on your whole account was to complete the event that it was a part of. Beyond that, there was no other way to claim it. Not on an account unlock, at least. But that appears to be changing sometime in the future. They didn't give a date in the article, but they said they are working on it, so the fact that they're stating it in an official blog means that it's going to be happening. I imagine this is going to be exciting to some people because for a long time, the Tommy gun has been a highly sought-after weapon for fighting against the Borg on ground. Or at least it used to be. Frankly, since the update to the remodulator system and the introduction of the extirpating remodulators, I find the use of the Tommy gun to be kind of irrelevant now because you can get by just fine in just using a normal energy weapon and using the remodulator system. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, when this was announced, I commented how the Borg can adapt to the Tommy gun and other ranged physical damage weapons now since the remodulator update. And some people commented about how that's just the mirror Borg, not the regular Borg, and I thought it was both. And then I did some testing on Defira just while I'm recording this. They weren't adapting to the Tommy gun, so I don't know if I'm just going crazy or if I was lied to. But either way, I am losing my mind, which is a fairly regular occurrence, but still, it's disconcerting. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Have you seen the regular Borg adapting to physical ranged weapons, or am I just going crazy? Anyway, even if the normal Borg still can't adapt to the Tommy gun, I don't know, it feels like too little too late, honestly, because I mean, people have been asking for this update for years, and it's only now that that Cryptic is finally getting around to doing it. And I know it's a relatively small thing that I can't imagine this bundle sells that well to begin with, honestly, but still, it's hard for me to be excited about it when I hardly ever use this gun to begin with. I mean, admittedly, I already have this unlocked on my whole account because I did the event, but at the same time, if it were me, like, I wouldn't be that eager to buy this entire Picard bundle just for the sake of this Tommy gun, because honestly, the rest of the stuff in this bundle, not that great, because I mean, we've got a bunch of costumes, most of which that you can buy individually from the C-Store. We've got the Miradorn Pilot Raider, which, I mean, it's not a terrible ship. It's a lockbox ship, so you'll be able to get this unlocked on your whole account with, via this method. But at the same time, I mean, who's really, gung-ho about getting the freaking Miradorn Raider? Ugh. And then the other ships in the bundle, these aren't even Tier 6 ships. This is the Tier 3 Constellation and the Tier 5 Galaxy Retrofit. Like, seriously, the fact that they put 2 lower-tier ships into this bundle is just an absolute joke. It was ridiculous. And yeah, then they threw in the Galaxy class interior. That's kind of nice, but again, you can buy that individually too. And yeah, then they released the Tommy gun as a single character unlock, which was beyond stupid, honestly. But now they're finally fixing that. But really, how many years has it been? Actually, how many years has it been? January of 2020. So this bundle has been out for 4 years, and they're just now getting around to making this an account unlock. And I like how they, make a show about saying, we've heard you, but I mean, it's 4 years, man. Like, that's a hell of a response time. And keep in mind, this is a bundle that is 12,000 Zen, so that's approximately $120 for this, what is already a very underwhelming, very expensive bundle, all for this little ground weapon. Like, I'm sorry, even if I didn't have this already unlocked, I would have a very hard time being excited about this. Seriously, like I said, it's too little too late. Anyway, enough ranting about the Picard bundle, because we've got one more thing to talk about, and that is the KDF recruitment event is returning on all platforms. On PC, it's going to be running from February 15th to March 7th, and on console, it's going to be running from February 20th to March 12th. So it's about a 5-day difference between the two, but I guess, it's close enough, so I guess that's why they're announcing them at the same time. They usually don't run these so close together. That's kind of surprising. Now, if you're new to Star Trek Online and have never played one of the recruitment events, these are really nice events because they are an opportunity to give very unique rewards, several of which that will become account unlocks when you complete them on your new recruit character. So if you're thinking about making a new KDF faction character, sometime between February and March would be a really great time to do it. The KDF recruitment event has a number of really nice rewards in it, one of which is a Tier 6 ship. Well, technically. The Imtrella Bird of Prey is unique in that it is the only Tier 6 ship that doesn't have any specialization seating on it, which means it's actually more like a Tier 5 ship. However, it does come with a starship trait, and that is Withering Barrage. Withering Barrage is the extension trait for Cannon Scatter Volley, extending the ability's duration by 4 seconds, and if you like Scatter Volley, this is definitely a must-have starship trait. One of the nice things about Withering Barrage is that it's available on like 7 different ships, this being one of them. And the reason this is nice is because the Imtrella is a free ship that you get by participating in the KDF recruitment event. So this is your way to get the Withering Barrage completely for free. Not that it's an expensive trait to begin with. 3 of the other ships that it's available on are normal C-Store ships, but still, it's a way to not waste a T6 ship coupon on a ship that you don't want to get just for a trait, and wherein you can just unlock it on your whole account via the recruitment event. Plus, there's a bunch of other rewards in here, too. There's a unique Batleth, which is really cool. Some unique ground traits that will increase melee damage, useful for that Batleth. Some unique bridge officers. Oh, and the KDF recruitment event is the only way that gives you a way to enhance your Endeavor reward progress. So if you've been wanting to speed up the grind for your Endeavor perks a little bit, this is a great way to do that. And actually, it's the only way to do that currently. Now, the really nice thing about the recruitment events is that all you have to do is create the character and get it through the tutorial within this time limit. So between February 15th and March 7th, that's for PC, or through the 20th through the 12th for console, all you have to do is create the character and get it through the tutorial. That's all you need to do to get it to be a KDF recruit. So there's no rush to complete the individual challenges that unlock these prizes. You can do that all in your own time. All you gotta do is make the character and complete the tutorial. Oh, and in case it wasn't obvious, KDF recruits have to be from the KDF faction. So you're not going to be able to get a Federation character or even either of the half factions, Jem'Hadar or Romulans. Those cannot become KDF recruits. They can be any species from the Klingon faction, so, you know, Klingon, Orion, Nausicaan, Gorn, or an alien, whatever, you know, whatever can be used by the Klingon faction, those can become KDF recruitment events. They just have to complete the KDF tutorial. So yeah, that's what's happening in Stowe right now. I was really hoping we'd have news on the other two ships from the anniversary bundle by now, but nope, just this. The news from the event campaign is pretty exciting. I imagine that's going to eliminate some decision paralysis for a number of you, which I imagine is a very nice weight lifted off your shoulders. The KDF recruitment event coming back is fairly standard at this point, but it's still nice to see. But the Tommy Gun news, it being available as an account unlock through the Picard bundle, it's, I don't know, I still maintain that it still feels like too little too late for a very expensive, very underwhelming bundle overall. And especially after the update from the remodulators, it's just, I don't know, it feels unnecessary to me. And I don't feel like it's something worth getting excited about. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, and while you're down there, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Oh, speaking of subscribers, the channel's getting pretty close to our next subscriber goal, which is 6,969 subscribers to the channel. I just wanted to bring that up because once we hit that goal, I have something special planned for the channel that I think you're all going to really enjoy. It's nothing weird, I promise. But yeah, if you haven't hit subscribe already, be sure to do that down below so we can get further closer to that goal, and I can finally do the thing. Again, I swear, it's nothing weird. Anyway, the rest of the outro, if you'd like to further support the channel, you can hit that join button to become a member, or if you're ever shopping on the Epic Game Store, you can use my content creator code STU1701. Doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does help me out, and I do appreciate that. That is content creator code STU1701 on the Epic Game Store. Either way, though, thank you so much for watching. My name's Stu, and I will see you guys next time.